Folks out in YouTube land, welcome back. Recently, I had a really cool opportunity to go on the Open Road Radio podcast radio show. They're based out of Chicago, but they're online and they stream every Saturday morning. They do a motorcycle-related talk radio show, and it was a ton of fun. So I got the video, or my part of the show, because the show is actually an hour or two long. They just did a quick little 15-minute interview with me. They found me on the old Instagram or interwebs. Lots of fun. Gina Woods was really great, and hopefully in the future I'll go back on and talk more about vintage motorcycles. So here's my interview. Thanks for having me on Open Road Radio. Appreciate it.
Hey, so we've got a great interview with this dude. I swear to God, well, wait till you see him.
Okay.
But he won't be able to see us, but we can see him. And I want you to tell me who he looks like when you see him. And he's easy on the eyes, too. I do got to say that.
Wow.
But you got to tell me who
I'm ready.
You think. Are you ready? Okay, let's bring Mason George. Motorcycles out. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How's it going?
Fantastic. You look like you got one of those Dixon.
I think I was going to say.
You
one
look
of the
like you got one of those Dixon flannels on.
Yeah, right?
It is. That's pretty cool. Look at this mustache.
This is the California biker uniform.
That's
I'm
right.
a California biker, so I should have one.
Yeah, you should.
You should.
Absolutely.
I think we're missing out.
Yeah. So, like I said, some of the best interviews come from meeting somebody by accident,
Right.
or running into somebody, or that's kind of how I met Mason in the last couple of days. And we just started talking. I started looking at his stuff
Well, where'd you
online,
meet?
and
Where'd
I
you-
was
where'd
like,
you run into
what?
him?
Well, there was this really cool Instagram about this motorcycle swinging like a pendulum in like this tree.
I saw it.
Yeah, and it had
I sent it out
like
to my buddies. We shared it, right.
25,000 hits on it. And I saw Mason, somebody had asked him, is that you? And he just kind of did one of those smiley chuckle faces. And I was like, okay, I got to call this cat.
Sneaky.
Right? And then he was like, no, that was me, but you can go on YouTube and find plenty of those. I'm like, oh, okay, so like, what's your deal? How come I don't know about you? And then he told me I restored vintage motorcycles. I was going,
And
wait.
that was it.
Wait. All
You
right.
hooked her.
Yeah.
You hooked her.
I said, this is my guy here.
Mason, where are you out of in California?
So I'm in the Santa Cruz Mountains,
Oh,
just a
okay.
couple miles from the beach in Santa Cruz.
Sure. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's why I saw some.
big biker area.
Yep.
Yeah, you've got a beautiful place. I saw all of those bikes, KTMs, and some other fun stuff like in a driveway. Is that your place? Is that your home?
Oh yeah, some of my YouTube videos are at my house. I have like a pit bike track in my yard, and you know we really have a lot of fun on non-working hours playing with motorcycles there.
Nice.
Fantastic. Well, Jessica Sheehan is with us, and so is Diesel. And I knew that he would just love your stuff because he's
I'm loving these
he's
photos.
a former shop owner as well, and still works on vintage motorcycles. Also, what did you just did a BMW? I think.
Yeah, we just got done doing a BMW sidecar.
Fantastic.
In the war, yeah.
What are some of the projects you're working on, Mason?
There's the KZ. Just talk about that one.
Well,
We're
a big part of my business.
Your pictures are in the background, so we just wanted to let you know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a big part of my business is hunting for vintage motorcycles.
Nice.
I find bikes in barns and wherever in garages where they've been hibernating for decades, and we bring them back to the shop. We get them operational most of the time, get them back on the road, and we pass them along. And sometimes I don't pass them along. Sometimes I tuck them away in my personal collection. You know how that
A little
goes.
hoarding going on.
Yeah, organized hoarding, as my wife says.
Organized hoarded for sure. Well, I can't
Yeah.
say that. That's a bad gig to have.
No,
Jeez,
that's-
Louise.
no.
That's right up my alley.
You're living
No.
our
Sure.
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I did the dealership thing for like 10 years. I graduated from MMI back in 2009. And I worked in the dealership world, and I had a great time and did all that. But my weekend and after work hobbies were always the vintage bikes, and the business just grew to the point where I was like, why am I working for somebody else, I'm making more money at night and on the weekends.
Yeah.
Right?
Fantastic. I love your shop.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an old gas station from the 50s that I kind of converted over to a motorcycle shop. And in the front here, we kind of have like a little museum with a lot of local history. And then just a bunch of San Jose mile stuff. The flat track scene is really big here, so I acquired a bunch of memorabilia because I collect not just motorcycles, but also memorabilia, gear, pretty much anything motorcycle related that I can get my hands on.
Fantastic. So it sounds like it's more of a destination.
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it makes it a
think
fun
we
destination.
Need to do a,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Here we come.
We need to.
Here we come.
Yeah, we need
He
to.
might
hit
have a
the
couple
West.
motorcycles
We
we
need
could.
to. We need to hit the West Coast.
We can. Maybe he's got a couple
Yeah,
motorcycles we
absolutely.
could demo.
Yeah.
There we go. So
Hey,
that's-
Mason, can you take a second to talk about when you're restoring old British or Japanese bikes and parts availability? People are so used to being able to go to great companies like JNP or some of the other distributors and buy parts for their old Harleys, but those old KZ parts, the V-twin Hondas, the early bikes, it's stuff so hard to find these days.
It is to a point. I do a lot of early Kawasaki Z1 stuff is one of the bikes I'm always hunting for. And the parts availability is actually pretty good. There's a Z1 Enterprises and a couple other companies that really have a lot of, nice repop, very close to original parts. I try and save as many of the original parts as I can, even if they're not in 100% pristine condition. It depends on the motorcycle, obviously. Some bikes I don't like to restore. We saw this in the Harley world, and I've kind of looked at what was happened with Harleys over the last 20 years, and I can see the Japanese bikes going that way. So, in the 90s and the early 2000s, everyone was doing all these crazy restorations on these knuckleheads. And now what we see value-wise is the original ones are worth 2 to 3 times as much, even though they're not as nice.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of on that edge with the Japanese stuff. If I can find them nice enough, I won't restore them. I'll just do what it takes to get them back on the road, add enough value where the bike will be appreciated and not messed with.
Fantastic. It sounds like you've got a good bunch of resources. And I think when you're in vintage restoring and rebuilding, that's what you need. You've got to be resourcul. What about swap meets? Are you finding, I'm sure you hit plenty of those out there. Are you finding you can still get those parts from those events?
Yeah, I do. I can get a fair bit of used parts. One of the services that we offer at my shop here is called vapor blasting. So I can get, and I have an eBay store and we sell parts worldwide. So a lot of times at swap meets, I'm buying parts not even for a bike, just to clean up with the vapor blaster, make them look great.
Nice.
And then somebody else is going to need that part for their restoration.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, and then on the British side, you can get a lot of stuff. It just costs a lot of money.
For sure. That is so cool. I love that. I mean, and then especially repurposing,
Right.
getting stuff and cleaning it up a little bit. And,
Well, it's awesome that these bikes are getting put back into,
Exactly.
so they're not lost. That
Yes,
they're not completely
yeah.
lost, and that's
The other thing is that, like, the collector car market, the Chevelles, the Camaros, cars like that have gone through the roof. A guy can get his hands on a KZ, going to go just as fast as that Chevelle with a little bit of tweaking, and you're still kind of reliving your childhood. So all of a sudden, those bikes, there you go again. It's a gorgeous bike, and it is somebody's hot rod. It is somebody's high school. It is the same.
Yeah.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
The early Ninjas, the Jap bikes, the Yamaha Phasers are going through outrageous money right now, and because the plastic's still intact. Some of them were painted and destroyed over the years.
The market is crazy right now. Even 90s sport bikes, which I'm not super into, but I watch, all the markets, and I'm blown away. And I'm really happy about the values because now that the values are getting higher, it's justifiable for people to put some money into these bikes.
Absolutely.
So as a shop, when somebody comes in and they're looking at spending a few $1,000s, they know that the bike has value to it and it's not just sentimental value, and that's a lot easier to justify for people.
I know, right?
How many bikes do you have currently?
And let's be honest.
That was an answer.
Yeah, and let's be honest.
It's a 2-digit number for sure. I probably personally own around 15 to 17.
Nice.
You know,
Reasonable.
if you went into my parts room at home, you'd say, well, I could build 5 more out of what I
Yes,
out of just
exactly.
parts. Customer wise, you know, I try not, because we are a smaller shop. I only have a handful of employees. So normally we don't have any more than like 10 customer bikes at one time. I try to take them in, get them done, and then move on to the next one. I don't like having a ton of open projects going on. I feel like that's where the ball gets dropped with a lot of shops.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
things get neglected, put in the corner, forgotten about,
Right.
and then it takes a lot of work to get them going again. Yeah.
Who's the common customer? Is it celebrities? Is it the collector? Is it just the average Joe? Who's your most common customer?
Now, I used to work in LA, and I worked at a dealership down there, and we did a lot of celebrity stuff. I did all the bikes for CBS, so like The Price is Right and all that. When they gave away bikes, those all came to my shop.
Cool.
So I ended up, you know, dealing with some celebrities because of that. But nowadays, it's mainly, you know, older folks like you were saying earlier, as far as the high school dream and getting the bike that they wanted but couldn't afford, or maybe the bike that they had. But a very common theme is guys will have a bike, they start a family, they have to either get rid of the bike or the bike gets parked, and then the kids are grown. They're financially in a different place now, and then they come see me and relive their dreams.
Exactly.
cycle.
Yes, it is a cycle for sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Either
I've
had
heard
one,
that a
you
lot.
had one, or there was a girl
Right.
involved.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a girl.
Either made you get rid of her or told you to get another one or the other.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Mason, I so enjoyed that you were able to come on with us. I totally dig that mustache. He's got just the best. You know who I think he looks like? I swear to God. And maybe I played this a little too much, but who do people tell you look like? Do they?
When my hair was short, I used to get Freddie Mercury all the time.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was going to say that game Mario.
Oh, Luigi.
Oh yeah.
Luigi. I think he looks like a Luigi.
I was going to say Tony Orlando.
Tony
there you go.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Speaking of things from the 70s.
Look at all of these celebrities you look like.
I think my mom's. I saw my mom a few weeks ago, and she said I look like Frank Zappa.
You know what? He does. You do.
You wear a variety of hats.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm a wild character. When I was younger, I used to have a mohawk and leopard sides and a crazy sport bike, and this is the tamed down adult version.
Well, you are definitely a destination for these Chicagoans because
Oh,
we're
I'm
going to be
going.
heading
I'm
out to
going.
the West Coast this
Yeah.
summer, and we
Yeah.
definitely want to come by and check it
Yeah.
out. I think that you're one of those
Anytime.
hidden treasures, and we're just so glad that you took the time to come on
I'm
and talk to
excited
us
you
today.
ran into or
I know.
found him because
Yeah.
I would love to come and see those bikes. That's
Me
something we've
too.
got to do.
And another
Absolutely,
resource.
anytime. And we're here in the beautiful Redwoods.
Yeah,
the riding
please.
here is amazing. I've ridden all over the country, and
Wow.
this, no joke, is one of the best places in the United States to ride.
Oh
We
my
have
God.
amazing riding here.
All
Well,
right.
we've definitely going to set a
Yeah.
date for that. Absolutely. That sounds
Yeah,
great. And you're
absolutely.
a great resource.
We do events in the summertime. You guys are more than welcome to come out.
Great.
So
Good.
how do-
we'll get with you on that too, for
How
sure.
do we
people
follow you?
So we're on social media, Mason George Motorcycles. We have a YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff. We're out there big time on the internet. Our YouTube channel is creeping up on, I think, 2 million views, and the social media thing is a huge part of the business. I sell a lot of bikes because of that, and because we do a lot of business globally. I send bikes to Australia and Japan and that kind of thing. So people like to watch the videos, and it gives them a better idea of what they're buying.
There you go.
Fantastic. Mason George Motorcycles, guys. Check it out. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to catch up with you soon. And have a great weekend. And thanks for being on Open Road Radio, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a blast, and looking forward to the next time.
You bet. You got it.
Oh, yeah.
See you later, man. See, now, that's how motorcycles bring cool people together, right? You meet the best people in motorcycling.
Right, right. Yeah, you never know.
I love it, and what a great resource. We always have people asking about not just, Harley, Panhead, Knucklehead, WL parts, but all kinds of...
Gina, it's like I was saying, it's somebody's high school.
Right.
You know, the guys that are in their 60s, they remember this bike. They had their thing, and maybe you grew up on plastic motorcycles that went fast.
I learned to ride on a Honda 90, and if I saw something like that, I didn't need it, but I'd want it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because that's, good memory.
Yeah, I would like some of those.
It's got some good-looking bikes.
Okay, guys, I haven't seen the 2 shares change.